And you've got open houses on Sunday for both of those?
I don't know if Ellery's open, but I know that Fox Road is because I'll be there in the afternoon. But we've got, I think we have 4 or 5 new listings coming on this week. So inventory is increasing. You know, January is usually a tough month in real estate because buyers have a little bit of a financial hangover, right?
Yeah.
And it's gloomy. Everybody's kind of in a bad mood because you come off that high of the holidays. And sellers are waiting like, I don't know if it's a good time to list right now or not. But for buyers, I'm telling you, get up and go look now. Because anything that's on the market, that comes on the market December, January, February, the seller is serious about selling. They're not just testing the market, they're serious. And so there's a really good opportunity for both parties to do well. If buyers want a value, now is the time, get out and be hunting.
I can imagine there might be people thinking about looking that say, well, we can't see how the trees in the garden and everything look in January.
Well, the good news is you're seeing it at its worst.
That's true.
So if it's palatable when you go, just know it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that nothing can be hidden, right? I mean, you're going to see the worst of it. Whereas, I mean, I have so many people when they buy with full foliage and when everything dies, they're like, oh, you know, this is wrong and that was wrong. You just don't know. So I can give you a reason to buy 365 days a year, and I can give you the positive because there's always a positive. But the reality is that January and February are the best times for buyers to get a really strong value in the real estate market.
I got. Oh, Carol, there's a pet cemetery back here. Did you know that?
Yeah. You didn't because it was all covered in foliage, but now you can see it in plain day, in plain light. You know, or even like neighbors. The
neighbors.
The neighbors, right? This is the time where you can truly see who's hanging out next door. So take advantage of it. And, you know, it's also a great time because we get snow and rain and thaw. This is a great time to buy a house and check out what's going on in the basement or their crawl space.
Oh, and how cold is it?
Yeah. How comfortable is your house going to be in the middle of January when it was 6 degrees this morning? So it really is a good time and opportunity for buyers to jump into the market. The good news is, I'm so grateful for JTV and the platform that we have to share our reality here, which is always good. I read that nationally in December, I read in a national publication that real estate was down 30% year over year in the United States.
Whoa.
In Jackson County, that was not the case, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but for the brokerage house, we again had a banner year.
Banner year.
And it's because we work 12 months a year as hard as we can for everybody, but there is always opportunity out there. I mean, I always say I built my business during the recession and the mortgage crisis, and so it can happen. There's so many good things happening, and we're really looking forward to kind of settling into where the rates are right now. I had somebody close, was it last week, with like a 5.8% interest rate. Now, they had excellent credit and a good down payment, but the good news is that they're coming. You know, that 6.5 is probably the reality, and that's a good number. They're loaning you a lot of money for very little, even at 6%. The days of 3% are gone. I don't think you or I will see those numbers again in our lifetime.
Probably not. But you mentioned the challenges like the mortgage crisis and the recession. The other thing that you forgot, and I know you haven't forgotten, is you had your new office open house on the day before the pandemic.
I was with you, March 12th,
right.
2020. I really thought that day we were going to be the first super spreader of Jackson because we had our grand opening and we had it in the face of it, and whether or not, I mean, it turned out being perfect.
Right.
But for 6 weeks, I wasn't allowed to do my job. And because it took that long for the governor to determine that we were essential. All the people around us, our lenders, our inspectors, our contractors, our appraisers, everybody else was. But then they found, wait a minute, nobody's doing anything if we're not out doing our job in that industry. So for 6 weeks, I rocked for about 24 hours, just like, oh God. And then I just dug in and I studied trends across the country, what we could do coming out of this, what opportunities there would be. And the good news is, no matter how positive of a spin I could have put on it in my mind, the reality was 10 times better. You know, it just reminded people what is important, and your home is incredibly important. Your environment, your location, your amenities are incredibly important. And I don't think we're going to forget about that as we plan for the future. You know, do we have green space? Is there enough room for everybody if everybody's home at the same time? Is there room for mom and dad? You know, those are things that are really important that I think are going to be strong trends that will continue through 2025.
Well, you had a great 2024, not just in real estate, but in the community involvement. Everything we were at, you were there. You sponsored tons of events. you participate in a lot of charity things. The polar plunge.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Yes. So we would like to invite everybody to, one, come out and participate, whether you want to jump or just cheer us on. It's a fantastic event. All the money goes to the Special Olympics, and we have fantastic Olympians right here in Jackson County. We have such a strong presence.
Real Olympians?
Special Olympians?
Oh, Special Olympians, yeah.
Yep. They are incredible. So we partnered a couple years ago. A friend of mine that works for probation asked me if I wanted to help her raise some money. Actually, it was my sister. She asked my sister to help. And my sister called Jason Dunnigan at Liberty Landfill and said, hey, will you donate $100? And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll donate $500 if Jenifer will jump. So I jumped. And last year we set it at if we can raise $3,000.
And there you are.
We'll jump. And we raised the $3,000. There's Claire. My whole team, there were so many of us, Bart, we had to go in 3 waves. So that's my nephew Drew and my daughter Claire. I went a little early, it looks like.
Yeah, get it over with.
Yeah, get it over with. But it's amazing. If you've ever had an inkling to do it, do it. Here's a big part of the rest of our team getting after it. And I have to tell you, it's just a party. There's Darren, he had great form. He flipped into the water. He didn't just jump, he flipped. There, you can catch him in mid-action. Key says she's never doing it again. I think she's still mad. I think she thinks we hoodwinked her into doing it. But come out and cheer us on, if nothing else. It's a really great party. The bar at the Eagle's Nest is open, and they have food and refreshments and things like that. But it's so much fun. But I would beg you. So now we are going up against, the police department. So probation competes with the police department for raising the most funds for our special athletes. And so we're praying that everybody will, the more they raise, the more people will have jumped. So our goal is $7,000 in conjunction with the probation department.
Well, this is the biggest fundraiser for the torch run, law enforcement torch run throughout the state of Michigan, raising money for Special Olympics. And without that fundraiser, there would be no Special Olympics Summer or Winter Games.
It's true.
At all.
It's true. And it's just a beautiful way. I always like a twofer, right? A twofer is when something really touches your heart and your soul, but also gives you a great opportunity to network and be with your community. And this is just that. You feel like $1 million. And I'll tell you, if you just want to wash off the past, jump in Clark Lake at the end of January, and you will just come out of it reborn.
Well, I'll watch. I'm not going to.
I was going to say, come on, do it.
No.
Would you ever do it?
No.
No. Brandon?
No, I don't think so.
It's possible.
No, I think, no.
That
you know
possible is
what?
like a yes.
I don't think Brandon and my cardiologist
Yeah,
would.
my heart probably would be.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
We do encourage everybody to talk to their doctors first.
I volunteered. There you go.
Yeah, oh shoot. All right, free
It's like-
pass for Brandon.
Yeah,
Yes.
you get the pass.
But I find that our Jackson community gives back tenfold whatever you give it. And I've followed your lead in a lot of that.
Oh,
like
thanks.
just digging in and seeing where there's a need and trying to get it done.
Well, there have been a lot of fun events and a lot of accomplishments because of all of those who contribute and donate and show up at these places and events.
Yeah, come out. I mean, hundreds of people. And people are in costume, they have themes. It's so much fun to see the creativity of it. And I would love for as many JTV viewers as possible to come and watch. It's even more
Nice.
fun in person.
All right, so what do you hear? What's the word on the street? Any new things happening? Who's buying what? What's going there?
Well, the Virginia Coney Islands sold last week, as you know, and I love that it's staying local and it's staying true to what it is. That's really exciting. I told you, we've got 3 or 4 new listings coming on just this week. We are preparing probably at least a half dozen lake homes for the spring market, so get in touch with us if you want to, start off and be in your lake house by Memorial Day. We can make that happen. The Lake and Home Tour is coming up. I think it's June 25th. I'll have to get back to you on that, but I think it's would that be the third Saturday in June?
Now, it seems like there are some new housing starts. Are these, any of these being built as spec homes?
Yeah, we do have a handful of builders that have some spec homes. Norfolk actually has a couple of spec homes out in Columbia Township, close to Lake Columbia and Lake Columbia Access. We haven't had that in years, so that's really nice that you can get into a brand new home. I think they're like around $325, $350 across the street, basically from the water or from the closest park. And we have a handful of other ones. There's a Country Estates in Napoleon. I just toured a house yesterday. That's a very mature, beautiful neighborhood. And there were a couple empty lots in the back and on one of the really quiet cul-de-sacs. And is a brand new house back there. It's so beautiful. Napoleon schools, really close to everything. And I just don't think that people realize it. So the days of driving through the neighborhoods and having discovery are not dead. Please get out. Figure out the area that you want to be in because location is key. Drive around and see what feels good. And you might be surprised some of the signs that pop up.
Nice. Now, we've got potentially some snow, maybe an inch or two here and there in the next week or so. And I know you like the snow. You ski and everything, but do you get away during the winter at all to get?
We just crammed 13 family members into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo between Christmas and New Year's for a little ski trip up north.
Oh, fun.
But I only skied for like 20 minutes. It rained the entire time. And Bart, those kids average 14 miles a day skiing, which in Michigan, you know how many ups and downs that is? That's a lot. But I went out there and was drenched from head to toe and rained on. I'm like, oh, I'm good. But we're going back up for MLK.
Well, hopefully things will be better because cold weather, they've been able to make snow.
Yeah, I think so too. And we had people out ice fishing and skating yesterday on our bay. Obviously, we just encourage everybody to quadruple check the snow. I had a bunch of fishermen out in our bay late last night with their little lanterns on, and you know, most of them have been doing it their entire lives. They know to auger and check, but you know, you cannot be too careful on the ice, so be careful. And I do just think that we get out of practice with driving on the snow. I wish everybody could like take a course in November and so they could remember how to drive in the snow.
Okay, well, you run that course.
Okay. I think I'd be the last person to give driving advice.
Well, thanks for coming in. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, Bart.
From the Brokerage House and the Jenifer Scanlon Birthday Club, Jenifer Scanlon.